January 27, 2026, Lowell City Council meeting come to order. Prayer. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for the direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessings on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Liang. Council McDonough.
Here.
Council Mercier.
Here.
Council Noon.
Here.
Council Robinson.
Here.
Council Rourke. Here. Council Scott.
Here.
Council Chow.
Here.
Council Dakota.
Here.
Mayor Gitchia.
Here.
Council Durant.
Here.
11 present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any moment of silences? Seeing none, we'll move on to portion 2, Mayor's Business. 2.1, Communication, Remote Zoom Participation. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Chow, seconded by Councilor Dakota. 3, City Clerk. 3.1, Minutes of the City Council Regular Meeting, January 20th for acceptance. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Liang. 4, City Council Motions. 4.1, City Councilor Robinson, request City Manager have the proper department work with our City Council to draft parameters around TIFs and TIEs that incorporate community and council-led initiatives. Seconded by Councilor Noon. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I think this gives us a good opportunity. We've talked about quite a lot of initiatives that, for whatever reason, legally, we're not allowed to kind of implement as almost pretty much policy. So some of the things that come to mind is working with developers and builders, pre-construction for pest management solutions prior to breaking ground and scattering rats' nests or whatever else may be, anticoagulants, another IPM strategy that we've talked about and the council has supported. I also think we've talked about some potential residency, 25% apprenticeship and residency requirement, where we're told that you can't really enforce or hold that legally. So I could see we could draft a revolving scale, so to say, where a 20-year max on TIFs and TIEs on a project. And another initiative that I think is a great thing that you're seeing a lot of communities offer through private businesses are incentives for home purchases in the city to really kind of foster buy-in. So say a company's looking for a 20-year TIF or tie based on what they're developing at the time. If they're willing to say, okay, yes, we'll offer maybe whatever is feasible for that organization, $5,000 down payment assistance program for our employees if they want to purchase in Lowell, there's one box checked. Yes, we'll commit to an IPM prior to breaking ground or anticoagulant IPM in place once we're open. There's another box checked. We intend on hiring 25% local employees, but we'll agree to that. There's another box checked. Now you qualify for the full 20-year max that we can give on any tax incentive. If they can commit to one out of the 3, say, maybe it's not a 20-year term on it, maybe it's more like a 15, but I think this is a good concept to take a look at and kind of work through. So I would make the motion to try to send this to Economic Development Subcommittee so we can really wrap our heads around this. Thank you.
Motion to send this to the Economic Subcommittee by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Noon. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 4.2, Councilor Robinson, request City Manager have the proper department provide a draft home rule petition allowing the city to establish a centralized facilities department. Seconded by Councilor Dakota. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I think this is long overdue. I know this was proposed similar last term. I believe it was by my colleague here, Councilor Rook. I don't know. I don't know what other way we can do this. We've offered opportunity over the 4 years that I've been on the council to sit down, discuss. At the end of the day, we're left holding the bag and bleeding. When things don't get done, so something as simple as changing an air filter in a heating system doesn't get done, due to that lack of upkeep and maintenance, it blows a blower motor. Now, I mean, we've seen ourselves repeatedly the investment that it's cost the city side just because of the lack of maintenance. Look around. How many of my colleagues went on the walk-in tour of the high school? And all the reviews I heard, absolutely horrible. And something that really stood out to me is, out of all the colleagues of ours that went on that tour, I've yet to see anything come forward from the school committee regarding the conditions of the school. So, I mean, again, I think this is something we've prioritized time and again. And at the end of the day, as the property owner, we need to come up with a policy that's going to protect our assets. And our schools are one of the greatest assets that the city owns, those buildings. And so I think there's no other real path towards creating a centralized facilities where we can establish expectations and accountability on the upkeep and maintenance of the assets that we have. So I think it's a no-brainer, and I'd love to hear my colleagues' input on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate my colleague bringing this motion forward. I know we spoke about this last week, City Manager, about what was going to happen. I know with the snow and everything, I thought you were going to meet with Superintendent Skinner probably on Monday, but obviously with all the snow, had you had that opportunity to do that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It was a little comedy show for everybody here when I was looking for you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through you to the council. Council, yes, we did meet to discuss a couple of items, one of them being an MOU that we're in the process of sending over to them to have a discussion. The second one was in regards to us helping them, and this is really just us helping them, right? With some ideas about what this would possibly look like to establish a centralized facility department, or just talk about cleanliness of the schools. So we are still in the process of putting that together as far as what that could imagine. But I want to be, this is a draft idea.
Understood.
And if anybody has any other things to share back and forth, the superintendent and I have talked about it on a number of occasions. He's open to all ideas, but under the Ed Reform Act of 1993, the Ed Reform Act of 1993, all of the custodial services are within control of the principals of said school. So I believe what Councilor Robinson is looking for is for us to draft a home rule petition that we then, if this council decided to pass, would then have to go down to the school committee to see if they would pass it, therefore giving the, I guess, the care and custody of this to us. I don't want to put any words in Councilor Robinson's motion, but I think that's what he's looking for. But this has still been happening. We've been going off of the discussions, because this obviously takes some time. The previous council pushed to do this. We've kept conversations. The past school committee has not voted to do this, but we've been trying to keep communications open with myself and Lisa, superintendent. But I know both of you have questions, and I answer whichever.
So just for clarification,
Yes.
you just said the home rule petition, it would come back to us, then go back to the school committee for a vote?
The home rule petition is something, yeah.
Mr.
maybe you
Solicitor?
can grab it better than me.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So if we, ultimately the council decided to move forward with the home rule petition, the idea would be, we would be asking the legislature to amend the statute. So Chapter 71, Section 37M, I believe, and it would be to remove the second part of the approval process for merging the departments. So the first part is a majority vote of the city council, which already happened, and we would be asking to remove the school department's vote, or the school committee's vote in that scenario. So if that legislation were to pass, it would just be on this body in order to merge the departments.
Is there a time frame on how long a home rule petition would take?
Mr. Solicitor?
I will defer to the city manager on that because the answer is not one that anyone likes or probably knows, but if anyone has a better idea, it would be him.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Legislatively, Councilor, that could take an awful long time if both bodies were in favor of this would go a little bit easier. If this body decided to pass this tomorrow, in a few weeks, and we petition the legislature to do that, that could be held up, yes, because we don't have both parties and would be going against what typically state law would be. That doesn't mean we can't do it. It would just be, I think, a challenge. In a time frame, I can only see that it puts everybody in a position to say the school department doesn't want this. This is not the intent of the 93 law, so on and so forth. So we've been traveling down this road. I have to say that Superintendent Skinner has been more than amenable to discussing and talking about this to try to get something accomplished. So I leave it to the council, and we could definitely do it, but I think it would be a difficult road to hoe.
So we should hear something in a couple of weeks with your conversations with the superintendent, I would imagine?
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. We're almost positioned to send them over a draft of what our best shot at this would be and how to do this. To create this, once again, this is just an idea. We'll socialize it as soon as we're done with the council to figure out how we could create this, which I would say, councilors, this would be on a second shift. This would be a 3 to 11 type scenario where we would have teams of people into the schools to not only clean them, but to also attack the painting of the schools, to attack any of the small leaks. I think that we've talked about this, and I think that this council has really started to push in this direction. The city of Lowell is not open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. The city of Lowell operations, as we have just been through a 30-plus hour storm, city of Lowell operations is 6 days a week. In all honesty, we're occasionally 7 days, but it's really a 6 day a week. Somewhere in the range. We have people working, not our police and fire, they're here all the time. But when you're talking DPW and things of that nature, there isn't a time that we don't have somebody on standby or night watchman, et cetera. And I think we need to start looking at our schools in the same type of light. And quite frankly, when we need things done here at City Hall, it's typically after closing hours. So there's a lot to unpack here. I think it's very worthy of this discussion to move forward, and I hope before the end of this week, the MOU should be going over, I hope, tomorrow, and that would be a big victory, I think, for all of us.
Yep.
The memorandum of understanding, as this council knows, hasn't been updated in the past 14 or 15 years. We're looking at something to start anew. The superintendent knows that. We've looked at it. We've had some discussion. We have to get them verbiage. And then the second piece that we're looking at is, once again, to continue down this road of trying to centralize the facilities. Once again, the draft home rule petition, great idea. I think it's a little bit of a challenge, but I think that we can still continue to move down this road from a centralized facilities department, so we can really feel good about all the money that we've been putting into our schools over the past, I'd say, 4 years. We've been very, very aggressive. I say this all the time. We were having problems with heat. We were having problems with roofing. We were having problems with windows. And this council, as I know, will be taking votes in the future. And the previous two councils have been very, very aggressive at making that happen. I'm not to say there hasn't been problems in any of the schools, but I really, truly believe that the problems in the schools have lessened. That does not mean something's not going to happen tonight or tomorrow. We have 29 buildings, as all of the councilors know. But I think we're really moving in the right direction here.
Understanding that talks have gone well between you and the superintendent, that's a positive, but I kind of agree with Councilor Robinson that actually we should get that process going, even if it takes a year and a half. If we don't know where this is going to go, it might not be a bad idea to start that process.
Mr. Manager?
Absolutely, Councilor. If this motion passes, we'll ensure that the city solicitor drafts it, and we can move forward in the coming weeks, if that's the will of the body.
Thank you, City Manager. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Dakota. Councilor Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager, did I hear you said that the maintenance of effort between the schools and us, the cities, is MOUs, is ready to get sent to the school?
Mr. Manager.
That would be correct. We had a meeting on Wednesday, and we talked, we didn't have anything in writing, which we've been working on to hand something in writing, but, you know, for the most part, the schools had put something forward that I think is reasonable. And we also decided, and I think it was out of this council or the council previously, to set a time limit on it that every 5 years it should be revisited. So we are, you know, I think we're all working in good faith to make that happen. But I want to be clear: the superintendent has not seen the actual verbiage. It's just the discussion that the CFO and the business agent. Yeah, it was sent over today. Thank you. But what the CFO and the business, I said agent, I apologize. Business manager over at the schools have talked back and forth about, and I think it's something reasonable that we can come to a conclusion. And quite frankly, I think it's important more so to the signal it sends that this hasn't been done in a number of decade plus, and to set something in writing that it'll be done in every 5 years, I think would be a good idea. So
I do agree. Would it be possible, the final product, to share with this whole body?
100%. The council will be voting on
Right.
that.
Thank you. With regard to the motion, you know, I concur with the motion, but I also encourage, if possible, as Councilor Scott last meeting encouraged, a reconvene of the joint committee between the school and the city to address the issues of that facility, the central facility department. I know that the last school committee, they are not okay with it. Maybe this time they're okay with it, with more concrete, with more understanding of what is a good thing of having this central facility for the city of Lowell. That way, issues such as maintenance of effort may not be sticking point anymore with regard to future funding of the school. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Noon. Councilor Rook. Councilor Duran.
So I'd like to understand how much effort it would be to put such a home rule petition together, because it might make sense for us to see the MOU that's being prepared and to see the home rule petition and understand sort of, you know, this effort going on in parallel rather than sort of saying we're going one way or the other completely.
Mr. Manager.
I apologize, Counselor, if I wasn't making that clear. The MOU it would be in relation to the net school spending. That's something that the school sent to us to take a look at, and I think it's reasonable, considering we haven't done it in the last 14, 15 years, to just revisit that particular piece. On a separate side, where it would be moving forward on the potentially home rule petition or trying to get the central facilities department. CFO, is that?
Thank you, Councilor Duran. Councilor Rook.
Apologize for the confusion, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so these are two separate things we're talking about. The MOU has been something that's been going back and forth for years now, and especially the last couple of years as well. This put together by, at the time, Councilor Gitchia, Councilor Robinson, and Councilor Dakota was the facilities department. That, you know, in my opinion, and just not worth a dime, but we took a vote on it, to send it to the school committee for them to take a vote on it. They did, and they said no. You know, and they kind of circumvented it by saying just let the superintendent go forward with discussion, but anything has to go in front of that body first before, you know, legally we should be talking about anything negotiation-wise with the school department for facilities department. I suggested, Mr. Mayor, maybe if you want to bring this back to the school committee, maybe for a discussion and a vote, just continue the process. I think that would be a lot easier than drafting a home petition and then sit there for months and then eventually get voted down, which I'm sure it would be, only because it would change the state law, not just here in the city of Lowell. But if we can, you know, and if you want anybody else here, Mr. Mayor, to show up to speak on it, I'm more than happy to, about the benefits of it. But I think it really should go under your motion to the school department for another vote for them to take just to continue the process of negotiation between the manager and the superintendent. Then if they do come to a final compromise, then it has to go back in front of us again for another vote publicly for both bodies. It's not joint, it's just two separate meetings that has to get passed. And the reason why I know this is because we just dealt with it a few months ago. But the MOU is not anything to do with the facilities department. I mean, if you want to try to write it into it, maybe, but it's two separate things that I don't think under the law you can mix the two of them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Council Robinson.
Thank you. Couple things so far, listening to the conversation. Through you to the manager. Again, we are a 6-day-a-week operation for the most part, except for first responders, public safety. But also we have civilian dispatchers and cell block attendants that are 24/7, and I believe some custodial staff might be as well, just staggered shifts. So over there in the cell block in that area. So we already do have pretty much community of, I forget the word, it's community of something to demonstrate that we do operate with a 24/7 operation with similar duties, because we have some custodian over in the cell block. We do also have custodian here, as many other facilities, senior center and other places. I don't want to muddy the waters here. It seems like since the past 2 terms when we brought this forward, they almost held that memorandum of understanding or maintenance effort charge office hostage to the conversation centered around centralized facilities. But again, we've been bleeding as a result continuously. Through you to the city financial officer, chief financial officer, what ballpark, what have we put into our school buildings in the past, say, 2 years as a result of things breaking? To the tune, I just want to say, I think the number of $14 million has kind of been floated around with major heating system improvements, upgrades due to breakdowns and failures. And I mean, that is something that I'm trying to get a grip on, and I think my colleagues are trying to get a grip on, is these unforeseen. Now, capital planning is one thing, but the unforeseen breakdowns, the unforeseen problems due to lack of maintenance and upkeep, and then all the way down to the micro level stuff where you have counselors coming to walk through a building that was newly turned over and it's filthy. And I ain't attended, so I can't speak to that, but from what I heard from my colleagues, and I take their word for it, not one person was happy with the condition of cleanliness, so to say, in the building. I do agree with Councilor Rourke. I think we tried this last time. New city council now, new school committee members. Legally, I think that is the right ave to bring something forward, have the mayor bring something forward for a vote, and see if the school committee is going to support this time around. But I don't want to slow this part of it. So the motion tonight is to draft a home rule petition. And the reason being, it's going to take some time, either which way. If they're supportive of it, it's still going to take some time. If they're not supportive of it, it's still going to take some time. So I think while all of this is happening, I think we need to draft a home rule petition, because I'm hopeful that this school committee will want to come to the table and work with us to help carve out what this looks like. But in the meantime, we're still the owners of these properties. And if we don't get a grip on this, I mean, it's not sustainable. We cannot keep throwing emergency funds into school buildings that aren't properly maintained and clean, as well as we have a new high school coming online. Different phases keep getting turned over. And what's the lifespan on these new facilities that we're acquiring as a result of lack of upkeep and maintenance? So I would stick to this motion to have the solicitor draft a home rule petition. And while that's going on, I'm glad to hear that Superintendent Skinner and the city manager and his team are sitting down and continuing conversations. And I hope, Mr. Mayor, that the school committee will vote to support and work with us on this, because if not, we're going to have to exercise this home rule petition, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I absolutely support this motion. I was there at the high school tour and saw the conditions, and this has been an ongoing issue. I would just say, though, you're talking about bringing forward a motion to the school committee. When it was brought to the school committee last time, the response was they felt that they hadn't been communicated to about what this meant for them, what it meant for the employees that work for them, just how the whole process would look and work. So I would suggest we do have a facilities joint subcommittee meeting just before you bring the motion, because I think you're going to get the same response if we don't have the discussion first. So thank you.
We can, just for a point of clarification, we can do both motions. We could take Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Dakota, to have the mayor bring the subject to the school committee. We can take that one first and then take the original motion, Councilor Robinson. So we could do both tasks at once if that's the wish of the body.
I'm perfectly fine with that, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Scott. Motion to have the mayor take this subject to the school committee. All those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Councilor Donna.
Can you just note that I'm abstaining from the vote?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mr.
Original motion by Councilor Robinson requests the city manager have the proper department provide a draft home rule petition allowing the city to establish a centralized facility department. It was seconded by Councilor Dakota. All those, roll call. Roll call, Mr. Clerk. And Mr. McDonough is abstaining.
Council Liang.
Yes.
Council McDonough. Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Council Duran.
Yes.
10 yeas.
Mr. Mayor.
Do you want to make a motion to send this to a joint subcommittee? Or is this good enough, those two motions?
I would make that motion.
Okay. Motion by Councilor Scott to send this to a joint subcommittee between the
Excuse me, Mr.
schools
Mayor. Mr. Mayor.
and the city.
Excuse me for 1 second. Would it be more advantageous for you to have the conversation with the school committee before we do a subcommittee, maybe? I'm just throwing that out there.
I think Councilor Scott knows what's out on the floor. She already just passed it, so I think her wish is to still have it at a joint unless she withdraws her motion. Councilor Scott?
I think you're just going to have a better result if we have a conversation. I mean, at least then
I'm
we've
fine.
given them the opportunity to ask the questions that they had at the meeting, so.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Motion on the floor is Councilor Scott to send this to a joint subcommittee, seconded by Councilor Mercia. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Robinson.
before we move on to the next item on the agenda, through you to city manager, he brought up with the new draft
Councilor
maintenance.
Robinson, are we suspending the rules? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, we're still talking about that last motion, but we'll also, can I make a motion to suspend the rules?
Councilor Robinson?
Thank you. That memorandum of agreement or understanding, the draft that you have for the maintenance of effort, did we look at the exterior as well with that? Because I know years ago, the school department used to maintain the exterior of a lot of their properties as well. And for somehow that kind of fell through the cracks. So, I mean, they had their own equipment even to cut grass at one point and snow removal. I don't know what happened with that, but in this draft, is the exterior upkeep and maintenance also included in some of the discussion points you're looking to have with the superintendent?
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Council, it's still very fluid, so we can still talk about that. We're just getting ideas back and forth, but that idea had been brought up. But that's something that we can have a further discussion on.
Okay, thank you.
CFO Baldwin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just to expand a little bit, the maintenance of effort draft that was sent to the superintendent just recently does include some changes from the DPW commissioner that I think speak to your comments, Counselor. So it would wrap in sort of ancillary sites. For example, Colley Stadium, which is now not currently considered as part of the maintenance of effort agreement, but it also considers those sort of outlying adjacent areas as well, which I think is the point you're making. It does try to wrap those into the consideration in the agreement.
Perfect.
But
thank you.
it's still, I'm sorry, Counselor, it is still something we're negotiating with them.
Excellent, because I mean, I know I can point to, say, Robinson School, McAuliffe School area, and that was always been a contentious point where cutting around, say, where the community, the school garden is, and different things like that, where it's kind of a gray area, whose responsibility, as well as the winter operations on the walkways in the school area. So I'm glad to see that all these things are being brought to the table. Thank you. Oh, and the consolidation of the playgrounds, because we saw that report come back from the administration, and it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason to this playground's owned by the school, this playground's owned by the city, so I think it is a good opportunity to kind of solidify what's what. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. 4.3, Councilor Chow requests the city manager invite the Veterans Commission to appear before the city council to provide a presentation on the city's Hometown Heroes Banner program. Seconded by Councilor Mercia. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say motion speaks for itself, but it's only 4 motions tonight. The Heroes Banner event happens every May. It's something the veterans, families, and Ghost of families really look forward to. And my previous chairman of the Veterans Subcommittee did an excellent job on this part. This motion requests that the city manager invite the Lowell Veterans Commission to appear before the council to provide a presentation on the city's Hometown Heroes Banner program. This program holds special meaning in Lowell. It publicly honors our residents who have served our country and allows families to see their service recognized in a visible and honorable way throughout our city. A presentation from the Veterans Commission will help the council and families better understand how the program operates, including eligibility, outreach, costs, and opportunities for improvement or expansion. It will also ensure we continue to support the program in a way that is transparent, accessible, and reflective of the respect and veterans they deserve. This is about honoring service, strengthening community pride, and ensuring this program continues to succeed. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 4.4, Councilor Chow, Mayor Gitche, requests the city manager provide the city council with a comprehensive list and status update of all street paving, roadway improvements, and infrastructure upgrade projects that have been previously approved by the council vote but remain pending. No second needed. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is, as I mentioned before, this is the type of motion that you normally make, but since you're up there, I will try to carry the torch. First, I want to thank the administration for the tremendous development and improvements happening across our city. It may not be immediately visible this week because of the snow, but over the past summer and fall, the progress in our neighborhoods has been remarkable. This motion requests that the city manager provide the council with a comprehensive list and status update of all street paving, roadway improvement, and infrastructure projects that have been approved by council vote but remain pending. Residents often ask when projects will start, what the timelines are, and why some work hasn't yet moved forward. A recent example is Smith Avenue, approved a few years ago but still pending National Grid or CSO work. In the report, we also request that any reasons for delays be clearly identified. A clear, consolidated update will give the council and our community a full picture of where projects stand, highlight any delays or funding issues, and help us communicate realistic expectations. It will also allow the council to prioritize future infrastructure decisions and ensure that approved projects are completed efficiently. This is about transparency, accountability of public resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Councilor Duran.
I think it makes sense that the council would want an update about infrastructure projects that it had approved. However, last week, we also approved a motion to have the neighborhood subcommittee work with the administration to come up with a schedule of regular reports. And I could envision that one of those reports would be about the plans for and the completion of all paving and infrastructure projects, not just those that the city council had approved. Along with the criteria that are generally used to determine the prioritization of those projects. So, and I think that approach, that broader approach, helps us as the city council perform our responsibility of working with the administration to set appropriate policies for its activities rather than just focusing on individual requests. So I'd like to amend the motion to ask for a comprehensive list of all the street paving, roadway improvement, and infrastructure upgrade projects that have been completed by the city in the last 2 years, and the schedule for projects over the next year, as well as the criteria used by the administration to determine or to prioritize those projects. And that would include, of course, the status of the projects that the city council had requested. But I think a comprehensive list would give us the satisfaction of what you're looking for, plus the broader information and plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Chow. On the motion, Councilor McDonough.
Thank you. Councilor Duran said a lot of what I was going to say and then made it better, so I have very little to say. I was going to ask, kind of in line with the motion last week and with how frequently infrastructure motions came before the previous two councils, if it might make sense to set a regular schedule for these kinds of reports for planning purposes for the city administration side of this. Like if this is a report that the council is looking for on an annual or biannual basis, as opposed to looking for this information constantly, or when the motion comes up, you guys scrambling to put something together, just kind of knowing twice a year that we're going to get the report.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. That's more than happy to provide that. Typically, we would provide all the councils what's ever happening in their districts for the year. And then when things sometimes things are in flux a little bit, and we move forward on other matters, but would love to, quite frankly, put the last 2 years or 4 years of all the success we've had with all of the streets and what we plan on doing for the horizontal construction for the year to come. That is something actually that the assistant city manager, myself, as well as our engineer's office are working on. And we can't not seem to get it out enough that sometimes I can't use ABC Street because we have those. But any other street, why it's not being done, it may not be high on the RSR level, but just as a reminder to our residents, sometimes we're waiting on National Grid to update the piping, and we wouldn't want to be spending money on a street if National Grid or whomever is going to be updating the piping next year. So any opportunity we have to express this, and I have to once again say to this council as well as the previous councils, all of this horizontal construction is happening because of the dedication that this council, as well as others, have had towards hopefully potholes will be a thing of the past, but we'll continue marching down that road. But thank you, council. We'll look forward to get that back to you.
All set, Councilor McDonough? Councilor Duran?
I just wanted to echo what Councilor McDonough said, because I think this is the point of the motion that Councilor Scott and I had last week, to try to come up with a regular schedule for whatever kinds of reports we think are appropriate as a council. So I look forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Okay, the vote is on the motion as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 5, communications from city manager. 5.1, motion responses. A, motion response, bridge safety measures. Councilor Noon, Councilor Chow. Which one wants to go first? Councilor Chow.
Councilor Chow.
He pointed first.
I was going to defer to the Vice Mayor, but thank you for the timely response, great letter to the Mass DOT. Appreciate it, rushing this issue.
Councilor Noon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Mr. Manager, for the letters to the state on these issues, and thanks for convening or plans to convene very soon with the partner that involving the state and UMass Lowell. I hope that this meeting can happen soon, and I hope that some sort of agreement in terms of share responsibility will happen, and that we address this issue sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Noon. Councilor Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, let me say that this letter is excellent. It's well put together. I just have one observation, and I hope you don't take any offense to it. But I have a mark in my head of many years ago when I was a city councilor referring to the fire station on Mammoth Road as the Mammoth Road Fire Station. And later on that night when I get home, a member of the family called me and said, "That is not the Mammoth Road Fire Station. It's a Harry Gannon Fire Station named after my relative." And having said that, it made me think about the correction that I didn't do it on purpose. But when I noticed we're talking about the Rourke Bridge, the O'Donnell Bridge, the Richard Howe Bridge, Willette Bridge, the Cox Bridge, and then we say the Hunts Fall Bridge, it's the Quinn Holmes Bridge. So I would just correct that. And I do that because something's happening in my head when they corrected me. I don't mean to be critical, but that, I guess, matters to people. Thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Apologies for that.
Other than that, it's a beautiful, well put together letter. No doubt about that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. And council, my apologies to the Quinn Holmes families for that misstep. I just wanted to let everybody know that this morning we had a couple of hour meeting with the LRTA in regards to some other issues going on over there. And I had the opportunity, Councilor Noon, so this happened a lot quicker than we anticipated. I had an opportunity to sit with Secretary Yang and talk to the Secretary about our concerns with Chancellor Chen. So the ball is rolling, per se. He was extremely concerned, as the university is. We know we all have this shared concern. They didn't have an answer right out of the gate, but that meeting has already happened. I just wanted to let you know that, and they'll be expecting this via email tomorrow. This letter, I had told them that the council will receive it first, and if it is accepted, you'll receive it in the inbox tomorrow. So we hope to be moving sooner rather than later. However, I do know that in conjunction with the university, we're going to put additional signage up along the way, and the secretary had no problem with it. Obviously, I don't think this council has any problem with it, so we'll be moving on that. And they already took the initiative to order the signs. So if there's no other concerns with it, we'll move forward in a timely manner.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Scott. 5.1B, motion response, moratorium. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you for this response. I think it's very important for us to take this pause to show the residents that we've been listening to them, to all of their concerns. And I think taking the time for us to conduct a comprehensive zoning reform is what they're looking for. So there's a lot of people listening for this motion, for this ordinance to be passed. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scott. Councilor Duran.
I want to thank the city solicitor for putting this together so quickly, and I know we're all eager to move forward. My only concern, based on my tech background, is whether the definition might raise any unintended consequences. A data center, I think, as written, could capture a small-scale residential or commercial site that has one or a few servers, but where the scale is, and the focus of the site is nowhere near, I think, what we think of as a data center. And so my concern is whether we might have a moratorium on someone doing something requiring zoning approval where they will have some computers in their home. Again, the data center definition, I think, would capture that if they're running, for instance, a website or doing, running a small business out of their home. So I think there may be some tweaks or some slight tweaks that are needed. And unfortunately, my tech experience is, I would say, rather stale at this point. And I think the city manager is making me laugh here. But I think there may be some other folks who have more up-to-date insights that could be valuable. So I would propose that we send this to the zoning subcommittee just to make sure that this is not, so broad, or that we're leaving also out something that we do want to capture with this.
Councilor Scott?
Sorry, I would not like to refer this to the zoning subcommittee. Well, pending, I guess, hearing from our solicitor whether or not he has concerns around the language that they drafted. Thank you.
Solicitor Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have any issues with the way it's written. Again, in this particular area, will preface this by saying I am not a tech expert at all. Probably why the manager and I get along so well. But I think Assistant City Manager Baez Rose, she had mentioned a few things to me earlier, which might be helpful that she can maybe give a little insight on. It's a little more in her area than mine. So, Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Assistant City Manager Baez Rose.
Thank you. So yeah, I checked in with my zoning staff basically to sort of ask them earlier today what their thoughts were on we had worked together with the law department to get this language in place, and to Councilor Duran's question about whether or not we might be wrapping some things in inadvertently. From my team's perspective, the definition wouldn't capture a sort of small scale, somebody working from home. It's really focused more on the primary purpose of the building being a data center, as opposed to somebody like working from home and having servers or something like that. I suppose there could be an amendment to the definition as it was written by the law department to sort of say that more explicitly, that the primary purpose of the building that would be impacted by this definition would be as a data center, as opposed to somebody working from home or something like that. And we may be able to tweak it that way and then avoid sort of inadvertently capturing anybody else. So that is a suggestion that, we were thinking we could make to this. But besides that, I think, a lot of the times when things like this zoning related come to the staff, it really is about interpretation. And our staff's interpretation is that somebody working from home, on a small scale, maybe having some servers for their work wouldn't really be impacted by this. But again, if we wanted to be more explicit about it, we could amend the portion of the moratorium that has that definition.
Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Isn't this going to be referred anyway to the planning board for a recommendation? That's where it's going, isn't it? So
Yes.
that's what I say.
Councilor Duran, then Councilor Chow. Councilor McDonough. Councilor Duran.
Just a quick question. So if it's referred to the planning board, they will have the ability to revise the definition if need be. I'm not going to presume. Yep.
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the planning board, they could approve as is with a positive recommendation. They could come back with a negative recommendation in its entirety. It could also come back with an approved recommendation with some suggestions, with tweaks that would come back here. And at that point, if it were different, I would have to draft the new ordinance and we would have to start the process over. But I mean, it would stand to reason that it would move quickly through this next time because the council and the planning board would both very much be on the same page. So obviously, best case scenario, the language that goes to the planning board is exactly what the city council wants. If it's not, we certainly could take, the body could take under advisement whatever it is that the planning board would suggest, and we could make those changes.
Councilor Duran, all set?
Yes, for now, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually appreciate Councilor Duran's various could-be interpretation of data center. I never thought about the smaller levels or usage of that. To me, I guess I understand data centers be more of the traditional sense, meaning they are not traditional commercial buildings. I think data centers are high-impact industrial uses with significant demand on power, water, and the surrounding neighborhoods. So I'm thinking about the big industrial usage of power, which greatly impact the neighborhood. With that said, we have an existing data center here in the city of Lowell. How would this moratorium affect or impact if they already had pool permits or they already had their permits approved but not yet implement them yet? How would that affect those permits?
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So another important concept of moratoriums is that they are not to be retrospective, in that any changes that are made at this point for anyone who already has a pending permit, they have plans that went before the planning board, and they got site review, and all of that was approved. So it's important that none of that would be affected. It is moving forward. So for anyone who has anything already pending, as it would apply to a data center, would be, at least as the ordinance is currently written, would be unaffected by this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Councilor McDonough.
Did Councilor Noon want to go before? Did you have your hand up first?
You were
Me?
first.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay,
Mr.
making sure.
McDonough, I control the meeting.
You do. You do. I'm new. I would like to actually support the assistant manager's suggestion that we maybe add if we could amend the definition of a data center to include like the word primarily, or a certain number of megawatt hours, or if that will make the rest of the council more comfortable with the ordinance and ensuring that it's targeting the kinds of buildings that we want targeted, and also in making sure that we don't, find ourselves subject to not being able to enforce this, or having people come up and say, well, how come this building gets to have a server room and my building doesn't get to have this? So that's all.
Thank you.
I support this. I will vote for this if it's not amended. I would also be more comfortable if it was amended.
Thank you. Councilor Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I share Councilor Durant's concern. However, I think that concern could be addressed by what Assistant City Manager Giovanni Byrosis spoke out on. Keep the data center, but spell out the intent of it, not to go impact or to go after the at home, those who are individual who provide those services. With that said, yes, commercial use. Yeah. With that said, I think it's a time we need to put this moratorium together, because time and again we have seen it. Residents come before us, cry out for us to do something. It's time to do something about it now. And what happened, approved, they can carry with that. At the same time, allow data center to work closely with residents on issue and concern that resident cry out, or eventually in the future, if another data center were to come to Lowell, right? So that is what we need to do tonight. Put this moratorium together. Do it in a way that does not impact those individuals who do it at home. Let's address the issue of commercial data center. Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
Oh, thank you. Are we able to amend it now to add the word commercial use and then pass it on to the planning board? Is that a possibility?
Mr. Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Given that it's such a small change that I do think, it goes with the spirit of what is in front of you. I think anyone who reads this, it was understood as, a primary commercial use. I myself would have no problem recommending making that change now so that this could go along to the planning board.
Okay, thank you. If we can add that amendment.
Seconded by
Motion and second.
Motion by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Rourke. Councilor Duran.
So I would withdraw sending the amendment to send this to the planning board. I do think, I think you had the word, I don't remember exactly what was being proposed by Ms. Baez-Rose, but I think primarily, the primary purpose is to have, of the building or buildings, is to house such a system or set of systems. That, to me, would at least capture the things that immediately came to my mind. I don't know if that addresses your concern, Councilor Scott.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just point out, I believe
Councilor Robinson.
my colleague, I think, meant withdraw sending it to the subcommittee. You said sending it
sorry.
to the
Oh, sorry. Yes,
planning
thank
board
you
to
for the
natural process.
yes, thank you for the
welcome.
clarification.
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So in speaking with the clerk, the best path forward will be, we'll take these changes and we'll bring it back next week. So it'll be delayed by a week, but it will have all the changes that you have just put forward.
Okay,
Councilor Scott.
thank you. That's fine.
Okay, so motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Noon. 6, vote from the city manager. 6.1, allocate $20,000 opioid settlement funds. Waive full reading and second reading by title. Vote authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to approve the allocation of opioid settlement fund in the amount of $20,000 to be used by the city of Lowell Police Department to purchase first aid kits, supplies, and first aid training equipment related to the use of and treating individuals with opioid use disorder. Motion to accept, Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Liang. Roll call.
Councilor Liang.
Yes.
Councilor McDonough.
Yes.
Councilor Mercia.
Yes.
Councilor Noon. Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Rourke.
Yes.
Councilor Scott.
Yes.
Councilor Chow.
Yes.
Councilor Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Councilor Duran.
Yes.
10 yeas.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. 7, ordinances from the city manager. 7.1, ordinance amending zoning, data center moratorium. That has been withdrawn by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Mercia. Roll call to withdraw. No roll call needed. 8, reports of subcommittee. There are none. 9, petitions. 9.1, miscellaneous. Nadia Rakim request installation of a handicap parking sign at 61 Chestnut Street, Apartment 3. Motion to refer to transportation engineer for report and recommendation by Councilor Dakota, seconded by Councilor McDonough.
Mr. Mayor.
9.2 miscellaneous, Maria Olson request installation of a handicap parking sign at 142 to 144 Nell Street. Motion to refer to transportation engineer for report and recommendation, Councilor Chow, and seconded by Councilor Mercia.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Can I make a motion to bundle 9.3 to 9.13, please?
Motion by Councilor Scott to bundle 9.3 to 9.13, seconded by Councilor Mercier. 9.3, National Grid, request installation of one SO pole at Middlesex and Wood Street. 9.4, National Grid, request installation of one JO pole, 557 Varnum Avenue. 9.5, National Grid, request installation of one JO pole at 1158 Gorham Street. 9.6, National Grid request installation of one JO pole at 145 Pawtucket Street. 9.7, National Grid request installation of one JO pole at 15 West Meadow Road. 9.8, National Grid request installation of one JO pole at 308 Stevens Street. 9.9, National Grid request installation of one JO pole at 316 Mammoth Road. 9.10, National Grid request installation of one JO pole at 9 to 11 Columbia Street. 9.11, National Grid request installation of one SO pole at 12 Wood Street. Mr. Manager, there you go, making us laugh. 9.12, National Grid request installation of two SO poles at 1170 Gorham Street. 9.13, National Grid request installation of 5 JO poles at Middlesex and Edward Street. Motion to accept, to refer to public hearing on February 10th. Councilor Noon.
There's an awful lot of installation, but those double pole, they don't remove it.
No, you're correct. You're correct. And it seems like these have been taking a long time to get to us. Councilor Scott.
Yes, I actually was going to say the same thing, seeing this many of them, because we did have a response to one of my motions about all of the poles around Gorham Street and the substation, and now there's more on here. I'd like to see some of them removed. Thank you.
Councilor Duran.
Yeah, and I had some questions too about just what was going on with some of them. So I assume the public hearing will be the opportunity to learn more?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion to refer to a public hearing on February 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Rook. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Any announcements? Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to announce that yesterday, January 25th, was none other than Paul Rothayem's birthday. So I'd like to say happy birthday, Paul. I know he's watching. He still watches the council meeting. So happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah.
Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to take a moment to thank the administration, the city manager, assistant city manager, Sean, who looks very modest and tired right now, all the DPW city staff, emergency workers for the past couple of days. They work, they went above and beyond. Many of them pulled over 12 hours to do the work. It's one of the biggest snowstorms over many years, and a lot of cities I watch on TV, as many of us do, have problems, have issues. But despite the mountains of snow all over the city, the main roadway are passable, are safe. A lot of work to be done still, but I just want to thank all of you for doing a fantastic job. And I just want to give a quick shout out to one of our former city council, former mayor, who's now on the facility side, John Leahy. He's been working a lot of hours as well. I'll give him a quick shout out, a friend, a colleague. But thank you to entire administration and DPW. I know it's a lot more work to be done the next 24 hours. There might be more snow coming. So I don't know if the city manager, if you could update us a little bit, if you have any ideas. I think a lot of concerns out there about when the parking ban will be moved. I know that's a work in progress, a lot of moving parts. If you can quickly update us, especially how many plows are out there, and just a lot of great work. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the administration the past 2-3 days.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilors, yes, there was probably over 30 hours, north of 30 hours of work that was performed by our DPW folks, parks, our engineers, et cetera. So I do want to say thank you to them. Thank you very much to the commissioner for all the hard work. My partner in crime here, we've been out at different streets to find out where the problems were. But this has been one of our biggest challenges. The parking ban we're going to keep in place until Thursday at 7 a.m., which means you have 2 hours to get your cars out of the garages by 9 a.m. So once again, that'll be Thursday at 7 a.m. And there is a method to this. Wednesday evening, we're going to put in a rather large snow operation Wednesday night, overnight, which will be predominantly throughout the downtown in some of the main streets. We've been trying to concentrate in areas. Quite frankly, all hands on deck at this point in time throughout the city. The biggest thing I can ask for the residents who are listening, there were over 200 tows. We try not to tow anybody. The police department does everything they can to alert folks who are parked inappropriately, but unfortunately, there were over 200 tows that were made, and that's still happening. It's not something that we're proud of because it does cost a lot of money, but we're trying to remind people to park appropriately. We are at a city that, sure, has probably 5,000 or 6,000 spots within our garages, and I drove through them myself. They were pretty chock full. So a lot of people did operate and did utilize the ability. The next plea that I have is for people to stop throwing snow back into the street. I had seen it firsthand. I know that the Assistant City Manager, Commissioner St. Cyr, I cannot explain to people how dangerous that is. I have been up and down more of the tight streets throughout here in the city of Lowell over the past, say, 40 hours or so, and you can tell. It's clean, it's clear, and then all of a sudden you get to a place that it's not. So to the residents, I had a couple of discussions that didn't go as well as I had hoped, to be quite frank with you. But people are snow blowing back into the street when, quite frankly, they should be snow blowing into their side yard, into the front of their house, like we did it on Coben Street, in front of the car, behind the car, things of that nature. I just ask because it just prolongs the process by pushing everything back into the street. And it, quite frankly, isn't being a good neighbor to your neighbors down the street. So I know that temperatures were a little bit high with people as they were throwing snow out there, but if we could just simply ask, please don't throw the snow back into the street. I do understand where it's coming from. I do understand the concerns. Having lived in a small side street growing up, I completely get it. So once again, to reiterate, we're going to lift the parking ban Thursday, 7 a.m. The reason for that is that Wednesday we're going to have a snow operation and we're going to try to pull everything off the streets. We're still inviting our friends from the Professional Women's Hockey League, which is coming, of course, Wednesday night. We're going to invite them into our parking garages, which will remain free for everybody to utilize. And they're coming in Wednesday night, and there's no other way for us to do this at this time. So hopefully everyone appreciates that. Any questions or concerns, as the council knows, myself and Mr. Machado are available. We thank you all very much, and to the councilors who have called us with those challenging spots and problems, we want to say thank you very much because, we have some spotters, some new spotters, and anyone that's looking to plow, we're still inviting people in. It is a thankless job, as anyone that's ever plowed before. It is hard, it is difficult, and if anyone has any ability or is looking to get a little side hustle, we are accepting still more applications. So thank you all very much for your time.
Are councilors allowed to volunteer to help out?
Not enough. Councilor Chow.
Thank you for the report, Mr. Manager. Again, I just ask all of us as the residents just be patient and to be cooperative. We're on the final times of the snowstorm, trying to clean things up, as the manager say. But thank you everyone for cooperating. And again, a big thank you to the DPW Commissioner, Paul St. Cyr. Amazing job by everyone in the city. Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
Thank you. I moved into Councilor Yem's seat, and I guess I took over his job. He wanted me to make sure that we wished happy birthday to our Assistant City Manager, Sean Machado, tomorrow. Thank you for everything you do.
That blew the surprise, Councilor. Thank you.
Councilor Dakota. You can't top that one, so you don't want to do it anymore.
No cards anymore, though.
Okay. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd just like to notify the public, Refuge Art School, they're having their 2026 Winter Fundraiser January 29th from 5:30 to 8:30. It will feature game night, live painting, and an art auction at Taffeta Music Hall, which is located at 110 Western Ave And it's the second annual winter fundraiser. $25 suggested donation. Admit one, and more information on the refuge page. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Noon. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So ordered.
Thank you once again.